Hello and welcome everyone to BGG's 10 versus 10. I'm Mike.
I'm Nick.
I'm Steph.
And we are known colloquially as the Three Amigos here. And basically what we're here to do is we've compiled a top 10 list. This time the top 10 games of 2019 because we just left 2019 and we're into 2020, that awkward phase where you don't remember to write the two before the...
And it's hard to turn a 19 into a 20.
There's no clean way to do it.
You know, you could 18 to 19 was kind of easy. You just make the bottom, he's kind of like, like that. Now it's hard.
Well, that reminds me, guys. You need to make sure to write the full year for 2020 so people don't go in and like put a 2019 or something. Try and mess up your dates.
Oh, that's what I heard.
See, I was thinking people think it's 1920. People come in like flapper outfits, but that makes way more sense.
Excuse me, I'm trying to cash this check from the 1920s. How can I say it? It's like, okay. Anyway, so we are going to give you our collective top 10 games from 2019, and we're going to compare it with the all-time rankings from BoardGameGeek from 2019. How those games rank, and some of them are already pretty high up there.
Some are pretty high.
We're going to see if we have the same list. We won't. Or how much they differ from the people's list, a list of you folks out there who rank your games on BoardGameGeek, which everyone can do and should do. Go rank your games, join forums and things, and participate over at BoardGameGeek.com. And I think it's time that we start.
Let's go and get into it.
The time is now.
Yeah, the time is now.
This is the moment.
So let's go ahead and start with BoardGameGeek's number 10 game from 2019.
All right, your top 10 game, your number 10 game from 2019 is a game that I believe that we like a lot, and that is Tiny Towns. It is ranked overall 412, which is pretty good for its first year, ultimately.
Yeah. That's pretty good, yeah.
Not bad. For 1 year, that's not too bad. So this essentially, we kind of talked about this in our top 10 roll and writes video that we did, where we're kind of like, this is essentially kind of like a really well-produced roll and write.
Especially if you play with the cards where you just kind of flip over and get whatever resources, sort of bingo style. You call something out and everyone gets a resource to build buildings and stuff.
It's a great game. Steph, do you like this game?
Yeah, I think it's clever. I like that it can handle so many people, but I think I like it with fewer people, so there's a little bit more control.
Yes, definitely.
Yeah, because you can play it where people are calling out what resource they want. It kind of goes around, and so you can kind of get locked in. And yeah, with a lot of people, you only get to call out a resource once in a great while. So.
And these resources you're putting on a little grid, that's your player board, and you're trying to put resources like glass, brick, stone, wood. You're trying to put them in certain patterns, and those patterns then allow you to take off all the resources and put in a building, and the buildings mostly give you points. So as you're going, your town is getting more and more cramped up and smaller and smaller and smaller. Yes. And it's a fun little puzzle, Tiny Towns.
Absolutely, and I like the variability with the different types of buildings. So like from game to game, your strategy may change greatly.
Yeah.
Anyway, that is number 10 from you, the folks at BoardGameGeek. Tiny Towns. Let's go ahead and get into our number 10. Cool.
Our number 10 coming in at 3,062 is the probably not really familiar
All right.
Tales of Glory.
3,000 is great, Steph. All right. No, that's actually honestly fine. Yeah, Tales of Glory, we really, really love this game. And this has kind of become one of our evangelism games where we're just like, play this game because I feel like no one knows about it. But it's a tableau tile placing game, kind of like a lot of tile placing games where whatever you place next to whatever, that triggers certain things in certain ways. And I think it suffers because it's got honestly a very generic name because it's just Tales of Glory. It's generic fantasy, which I like generic fantasy, but like a lot of people kind of like, just kind of look past games like that. And it's really, really good. Really good.
It's fun because it's so quick, and with the simultaneous action selection, it just moves really fast. You get to build out your little your tableau, and you get potions and money and stuff. And it's just like, I'm surprised that it hasn't done better because it seems so accessible.
Yeah.
Steph, have you played it, and do you agree? It seems like it's just it goes down smooth.
I really like this one. I like playing the cards at the same time as everybody else. I mean, the trick is trying to pick a tile that nobody else wants so you can get your tile. Otherwise, you might not get the tile that you want. And so that mechanic of not knowing what you might get and just working with the leftovers possibility. I just love tile placement anyway and figuring out your own personal board. So this all just works for me really well.
It works. And this just goes down smooth with almost everyone we've played it with.
Yeah, I just love, like you said, Steph, you might not get the tile you want by flipping over the cards, so the game's a lot about adaptability. You're like, well, I've got these two options now. Let's go here. Yeah, but all while still being really fast. And it's just always fun to start with kind of one little tile. And by the end of the game, you have this thing that you built.
Yeah.
It's very satisfying.
It's incredible.
Satisfying. And it's gorgeous.
And it's pretty.
Yes.
Play it.
Very
play the game. You
Go
see
play
it.
it.
Play it.
3,000 is a shame. It should be ranked much higher.
It deserves it. It's great.
Agreed.
So it's 3,000 overall, but 10 for us. So let's go ahead and get into Board Game Geeks number 9.
Alrighty, your number 9 is ranked 389 overall, and that is Aeons and Legacy. This game, I know Steph is freaking just.
Steph has no opinion about it at all.
Yeah. Steph loves it. We'll let you. We've played Aeons and normal version, really fun. But Steph, go ahead because we know how much you love
Tell
this.
the people why it's great.
It's great.
It's great. Well, besides the legacy aspect of it, it was my first intro to like a cooperative deck builder. So that just really it opens up a whole universe for me, and it's possibly something we'll see later in this list.
I don't know what's going on.
Ooh, foreshadowing. We've played regular Aeons and Legacy is the next game we're gonna play with a buddy of ours that we do kind of legacy stuff with.
It's true.
Super excited for it. You may see it later, so we'll talk about it then. And in the meantime, let's go ahead.
Not. No,
and just ignore it forever. We'll, in the meantime, move on to our number 9.
Our number 9, coming in at BGG ranks super low. I don't know. Nobody knows about it, but it's Isle of Cats at 7,527.
Wow. Yeah.
Now, all of the Kickstarters are coming in right now, so I'm sure this number's going to skyrocket
probably
in like a
why.
week.
yeah, I'm sure.
I
sure
feel
it's
like this game, based on how the Kickstarter did, it's just a matter of time for it to get into people's hands before it takes off. So, Steph, what drew you to Isle of Cats other than you're fitting cats onto a ship and the cats are all like laying like this and stuff?
Because they're cats.
So all the cats are adorable, yes. But really, the polyomino aspect of this game just drew me in, and I'm like, oh my god, I have to play this game. So at Origins, I tracked down Frank West of the City of Games publisher, and he showed me the game. And I fell in love right away. So it has everything else. Polyominoes, my own player board to fit those polyominoes, drafting cards, which I love, and just, working with a bad situation. I love drafting anyway. So the fact that it has an awesome theme, awesome mechanics, awesome meeples, just awesome everything. Everybody's going to love this game. It's hard not to love this game.
Right? It's like one polyomino tile link seems to be, and I'm sure someone out there is like, nope, I hate it. But I feel like it's a pretty well received mechanic, right? Like who doesn't like polyomino tile games?
Yeah, you got to assume that like it's a good thing. I think a lot of folks out there, us definitely, we all like puzzly things and fitting stuff together.
If we didn't like puzzles, we probably wouldn't be board gamers.
And what's more puzzling than the physics of cats?
Cats,
because
they're liquid.
They do whatever they want.
Yeah, cats are liquid. We all know it.
It's scary. Yeah, this is one that like we just waiting to get our hands on because it just looks awesome.
Yeah.
And I do imagine that ranking is going to go quite a bit up real soon. So keep checking back. That's the cool thing about these rankings. They switch all the time. You never know where things are going to be.
Because this is only this year. These rankings will probably change pretty drastically even in another year or so. It's kind of an interesting list in that way.
Absolutely. So let's go ahead and jump into Board Game Geek's number 8 for now. Because the rankings changed. See what I said there? Let's check it out. Mediocre joke.
All right, coming in at your number 8, overall ranked 318 is PAX Pamir, which we know about.
Edition.
It's the second edition.
We know the first edition so well.
If we only knew the second, so we're going to let Steph take this one. She's our resident expert in all things
We're so tired
of
talking about it.
We talk about it all the time, y'all. But only first edition. So what's second edition, Steph?
I don't know the differences. But I do know.
They're going to see through our ruse that we don't know what we're talking about.
So much build up to that. I love it.
So I did get to play over the holiday break this game. Everybody's like, let's play this. I'm like, okay. It doesn't seem like a game that I would like, but having played it, I enjoy it and I can understand why people like it more.
Okay.
So in the game, it's actually kind of simple. You're choosing to be a faction, and during the game, you'll draft these cards. You'll buy them from the market and then play them. And every card has its place and you have a hand limit and all this stuff, but your cards can be killed by other people. So other people might be your faction, so you kind of want to team up with them, but you might take over a new faction, so you start being the new faction. There's all this manipulation going on around the board, and you're trying to control a map depending on the faction that you think is going to be in the lead during the scoring phase, which could be at any time.
Okay.
You're trying to dominate this little map using these cards, and the money mechanic, you're spending money to the board, but you gain the money from the board. But if everybody's hoarding the money, you have no money. So you have to take the cheap cards. All these different things are happening. And, any false move that you do could, ruin
Be
you.
your last.
It could be your last. But it plays out pretty quickly. And we played with 5. So there's only 3 factions. So you definitely will likely be teaming up with somebody at some point during the game.
That's weird. Interesting. Okay.
And the winner had 9 points. So every point really matters.
What?
Apparently.
This just screams of intelligent person game, so I am out.
Pretty much, yeah, right?
Man, that sounds intense. The whole, the kind of, I do like those games that have the loose alliance thing.
Yeah.
So that's interesting. So
actually, no, I don't.
That's fair
enough. No, I don't. I hate alliance
Three amigos
games.
don't always agree.
It stressed me out.
Anyway, that is PAX Pamir, your number 8 overall from 2019 from BoardGameGeek. So let's go ahead and jump into our number 8.
Our number 8 coming in at 548 is Cartographers.
Oh, there we go. Now we're finally getting to some semi-appropriate ranks. It's still too low, but Cartographers.
It's so good.
Maybe the best rolling right now. I don't know. I can't make up my mind.
It might be my favorite.
There's a lot
roll
of good ones, and this definitely deserves to be at the top.
Yeah, it might be my favorite roll right at this point.
It's so good.
It's so good. This is a game where you are building out a map. You are in the wild, crazy world of map making, and you're flipping over cards. All the cards will have 1 or 2 different terrain types, like a village or a forest or a farm or water, and then 1 or 2 shapes to it. And there'll be polyomino kind of Tetris shapes, and then you have to draw those shapes inside your map. And throughout the game, there's different scoring opportunities. Like you want all your forests to be on the edge of the map. For every forest space on the edge of the map is worth 1 point. And so you're essentially trying to arrange these things in the ways to score the most points. But it's got I believe, the Isle Sky scoring mechanic where there's sort of 4 rounds. So the 4 rounds are A, B, C, and D. So the first round, A and B will score. Second round, B and C, then C and D, and then D, and then A again. And so you know what's going to score throughout the game.
So you can kind of build up to...
everything will score twice. And so you're constantly trying to build it up, and it's just... I don't know why it's so fun, but it's
because you create a map.
It's so pretty.
Yes.
So good.
You end up with something, again, there's something to be said for when you build something, you get to see it. And then there's people out there who get crazy artistic with it. It's so cool.
I just color in blocks.
Yeah, we end up with a Lord of the Rings map. And how fun is that?
It's just incredible. It's so good.
It's
great. And it's easy. People can understand it. It's just fun.
It's it's nice because it's gateway level, but got a lot going on in terms of where you're placing stuff, but it's all spatial, which I feel like is easy for people to grasp.
Yeah, so I think it's good there's a level of accessibility because new and experienced gamers can all play it and enjoy it for maybe different things.
Yeah.
Yeah, so anyway, that's why we
play it.
Cartographers. Go play it right now. And in the meantime, we'll jump into BoardGameGeek's number 7.
BoardGameGeek's number 7 is ranked overall 279, and that is Paladins of the West Kingdom, the next game in this job in the direction of the world. You know, that from Renegade Games and Shem Phillips and Garphill Games, and it's just great. We love it. And Steph, you said you haven't played this one yet, right?
I have not.
We played a game that Steph Hodge has not. We win!
Jealous. You win! Yes.
The one time that's ever happened. Paladins of the West Kingdom is fantastic. It's sort of, we always talk about, it feels, it's not Orleans style, but it's Orleans style in that you have to put certain workers, multiple workers onto a space to activate that action. So it feels kind of like that.
There's different kinds of workers.
They're not bag building and randomly getting people, and you're trying to get these different types of workers, and you're working on kind of 6 different areas of the game. You can attack kind of these outsiders, or you can try to convert them, and you can build up a wall for defenses, and they're going to help boost you up these 3 attribute tracks. And the cool thing is is you have to be at a certain level in these attribute tracks to work in areas. So you need to have faith, for example, and you're going to do this thing that's going to boost your influence.
Yeah.
But you have to have the faith. So how do you get the faith? Well, this thing over here, you need strength, which gives you faith.
Exactly.
And so you're trying to find these like synergistic combos, these little mini engines.
Yeah.
To run up these tracks, which will ultimately be a big source of points.
And it's a very satisfying game because, again, you have these workers, and the workers will be like a green worker, a red worker, a blue worker. And all these spots require those, but a lot of the spots, there's lots of ways in the middle of the round to gain more workers.
Yeah,
so like, oh, I do this and this, and that gives me 2 of these white workers. Oh, then I can put these in here and then fill in this, and I can do this. That gives me a blue worker.
Yeah.
Oh, now I can put this over here, and you can kind of extend your turn longer and longer, and it just gets very, very satisfying.
Yeah, it's big and heavy, and it's really good to choose like a direction to go or 2 and focus
you can't do it
all in
all.
on that.
Can't do it all.
It's so good.
It's
Steph,
great.
I'd be curious to see how you like it, knowing that you like Orleans and stuff so much. Again, the gameplay, with, you're not doing bag building, but just with the way the actions play out. It's super duper cool.
A lot of the things you said remind me of Architects, so I could see like this, you know, like how they.
Yeah.
He does multiple games in a series, so I can see how that is the next.
Yeah.
Based on what you said.
No, definitely.
And it
for
feels
sure.
very much in the same world as Architects, for sure.
Yeah, the
while
art
doing
is
some different stuff
throughout as well, which doesn't hurt it.
Yeah,
you
it's
know?
super fun that there's kind of this continuation feel, but while providing a heavier experience than Architects.
Yeah.
So anyway, that is your number 7, folks, over there at Board Game Geek. And let's go ahead and jump into the Three Amigos, number 7.
Number 7, coming in at 769, is Hadara. Oh gosh, have you guys played this? Because it is so good.
We played this on Board Game Geek. We played this. We did
we did kind of a game night live.
A live game night with Lincoln and Nikki.
Oh yeah.
So we saw there's a proper game night episode.
You can watch it
on Hadara. You can watch
on this channel.
Yeah, that was a normal film thing, and I remember watching that video, and I hit up Lincoln right away. I was like,
how do we play this?
How do we play Hadara? Man, I really want to play this game. And he's just like, you can come play it. We'll stream it. And I was just like, be over at 7. And then we got to play, and it's so good. Immediately bought it. It's
great.
It's fun. So Steph, why don't you take it away and tell us a little bit more about Hadara?
Yeah, I just had to pick this one because I'm such a Seven Wonders fan, and this is like kind of in that line. It is different enough to have both. I love Seven Wonders. Nothing will replace Seven Wonders for me. But Hadara has the nice card drafting, light civ building aspect of it. And so there's just so much replay because you don't go through all the cards every time. You don't know what purple buildings are going to show up. And now there's even little promos that you can add for even more replayability. It's just so great.
It is, it's so cool. You play 3 rounds, 3 epics, and you're kind of going through time, and like you're right, Steph, it has that sort of light civ feel to it, where you're sort of developing technologies, but you're ultimately going up these 4 tracks, and it's just satisfying. It's like, oh, I bought this card, and I put it down, and it went 3 up the military. I might get a colony. Oh my god, I got this thing. I go up culture. It just you're always doing stuff. And it feels super good, and I like that each round is broken up into 2 phases, where in the first phase, you get a crack at each of the 5 color cards. You get 1 shot at it, you draw 2, use or ditch 1, and discard the other. And then in the second half, all of these discard piles that now have been created are up for grabs to buy stuff. So you maybe were discarding things strategically, hoping to get a shot at it.
I hope it's still here,
Yeah, and just those 2 different, the feels of the same rounds are just really interesting. It's very colorful.
It's a very colorful game.
It's saturated.
That's really why I like it.
But it's really colorful.
Just mostly all the
really
colors.
colorful. I like it. Yeah, it's outstanding. It's so good.
I cannot wait for an expansion.
That's why I
just
made
give me
our
more
list. It's
cards. Let's go. I'm ready.
Yeah.
Hadara is awesome, and it is our number 7.
Yeah.
Let's go ahead and jump into Board Game Geek's number 6.
Your number 6 is ranked 276, and that is Tapestry.
Tapestry.
This game
with some light civ.
Jamie
feels.
Stegmaier was just like, game, and
Yeah,
everyone went
did the
bananas.
Beyonce, just like all of a sudden, like board game backs away. Everyone's like, "What just happened? Where am I?"
Jamie's real good at that.
Out of nowhere, man.
Tapestry is a civ. It's a civ themed Euro game.
Yes.
It's not a civilization game. I'm sorry. It's a game where essentially you're going up these 4 different tracks, like military track, science track,
Exploration.
Yeah, and you're essentially just playing kind of a Euro game. You're going up these tracks, getting different points, and you have different tapestry cards, which will give you like a special kind of power scoring opportunity for that round. And it's overall, it's pretty good. I mean, I like it. You like it more than me, for sure.
I do. For whatever reason, I just like to go up the tracks and kind of see what kind of stuff I can put together. And I'm enjoying kind of exploring the options so far. I don't know, Steph, do you like Tapestry? Have you had a chance to play it? Because it's a game that's people
kind of
are, divisive, all over the place with.
It's definitely on the better side of for me. I think if I played with the wrong group, I wouldn't like it as much. That's all. I do like all the options as well. I like pushing my luck with the dice. Like there's a dice track, the science track. I think you can get.
Yeah, it is. Science.
Roll your dice and hope for the best. I like that track.
Yeah.
I'm like, I'm gonna get something great. No.
Yeah.
But I like the little puzzly board that you get to build buildings on. And there's a lot of things to like about this game.
Well, it's a lot of races because to get up these tracks, there's like these bigger buildings that you can get. But only the first person to get to a certain point on the track gets that building. Yeah. So there's these constant races for trying to get these buildings. They fill out a big spot on your player board.
Right.
And so it's a bit of a race thing. I like this game. It's a solid game. It's a solid game.
Yeah, it's a solid game that I'm excited to see future developments with and kind of, if they're going to put more civs in there and or cards and things or whatever it might be. I'm just excited to see. But I enjoy it so far. I'm definitely every time I've played it, it's always piqued my interest. I'm always kind of going, oh. Yeah. And I think you're right, Steph. Maybe it's kind of with the right group of people, and I think I've gotten lucky in that people I played it with have made it an enjoyable experience.
Here's the thing: most games with the wrong group aren't gonna be great.
That's
you know what
true.
I mean? So it's
And
just
But some people really like dexterity games, so you play those. Some people really like the heavier games, so you play it with theirs. So it's just everybody has their niche.
Totally.
And every group, that's fine. So whatever's the right group for you, that's all that matters.
That's right.
So that's Board Game Geek's number 6, 276 overall Tapestry. And let's go ahead and jump into the Three Amigos number 6.
Coming in at 942 is Imperial Settlers, Emperors of the North. Empires of the North.
Yeah.
Empires
of the North.
Lands where the ice may roam.
Lots of ice in this one. Yeah, Empires of the North, which is the sequel to Imperial Settlers, which was kind of the sequel to 51st State. It's confusing. But nonetheless, there's a new Imperial Settlers, Empires of the North, which is the newest version. Really, really good version. We played Imperial Settlers, enjoyed it.
Yeah.
But played Empires of the North and love it. And I think it's because at least for us personally, Imperial Settlers, you have some faction-specific cards, but then there's kind of the generic deck that everyone draws from. Whereas in Empires of the North, all your cards are just your faction cards.
So you're all in on your thing.
So you really have to kind of learn how to play each faction because each faction does stuff a little bit differently, is good at certain things, and getting to explore each faction and really try and figure them out has been really, really enjoyable with this game.
Yeah, what do you think, Steph?
Oh yeah, I think you're right in that I like having the full deck of cards. Yeah. Now the problem is I always want to play the cute little penguin girl because she's so
I know, right?
So I haven't really played anything other than her right now.
That's
but
okay,
now
because
really
we're real good at her.
Exactly. Yeah, and that's the cool thing is you could just spend a lot of time with one faction and get super good at them and figure them out.
And the factions also have different difficulty levels. Some are a little harder to grok than other ones, which I think is really cool.
Yeah, and it's like the art is just really cute.
It's
and
super
stuff.
cool art. Yeah.
And this is another one like Imperial Settlers. They're going to have tons of room to expand with different factions that act a little bit differently. And I like the whole kind of sailing edition of this where you can go off into these islands and either kind of pillage them for resources or you can conquer them, which will give you even more kind of action cards and things like that. There's just a lot to like so far, and it's just super adorable.
I really like the use of the action discs because you need to place them accordingly because you get to reuse them once and then going to left or right. So adjacency matters on that little board and a lot of things to consider. It's cute.
Yeah.
It's good.
And I was wondering at the start, are those action discs going to be a big part? It's like, no, that's a big part of the game. You do need those actions, and where you place them is important. You need to have the food to use them again.
Yeah.
There's a lot. And on top of figuring out just what your cards can do. So it's a good mix of different things to kind of keep you busy. I really like it.
It's a great game.
Yeah. So that is our number
6.
Let's go ahead and jump into Board Game Geek's number 5.
All right, your number 5 is number 268. Board Game Geek chose for the number 5, Res Arcana.
Yes.
Res Arcana, I feel like when it first came out, we had a bunch of friends who were talking about it.
Yeah.
And then it just disappeared.
Well, it's a little earlier in the year.
I guess so, yeah. But it's ultimately a pretty good game. I like it.
It's a game where you kind of draft out a hand of 8 cards, and then it's about building a quick little engine. It's just a kind of a boiled down engine builder in a fantastical world. Steph, have you played Res Arcana? Do you have much feeling about it?
I have played it, and I had a good time. It's not one that I would, for a resource management engine builder, it's not one I would go pick off the shelf to play. But I wouldn't mind playing it again.
Yeah, that's kind of, I liked it. I'd like to play it again. I think it has an expansion now.
It does,
yeah. Coming. Yeah. That's the only thing we played. I was like, this is cool, but this is going to need an expansion, which I figured they would expand it. But I ultimately liked it. I don't know how much. I need to play it a little more, though.
Yeah, I've enjoyed it, and this is another one, kind of like, Tapestry and stuff. It's like, I'm intrigued to see more.
Yeah.
I want to see where they go. So I'm definitely interested by Res Arcana, and I've enjoyed the plays I've had of it. I definitely feel like, doing the drafting, if you don't know the cards, I probably have not drafted particularly well. But it is an interesting thing of just like, you only have like 8 cards to start. You'll get a couple more maybe, but like, you only have these few cards. What can you build with just this very limited amount of things? I think is a really neat idea. So I hope to see what that expansion brings and kind of how this kind of blooms and blossoms to see what potential's out there, because I think it's a neat thing. Anyway, so that is number 5 from you, the folks, a Board Game Geek, Res Arcana. Let's go ahead and jump into our number 5.
Coming in at number 5, we have Lord of the Rings Journeys to Middle-earth at number 138.
Yes.
Well, you probably know us by now that we're big Lord of the Rings fans here.
That's right, baby. A little bit. I'm reading it right now.
Yeah,
it's true.
So this is a huge campaign game used as an app. It has an awesome card mechanic where you have these cards that you can use, but you're also pushing your luck with the cards that are in your decks, which is like the most interesting part, I think, because I'm like, I don't know, I don't have much in there, but I'm gonna go for it anyway.
I'm gonna go for it.
It's a success, right?
It's gonna be a success, no problem.
Yeah, it's not.
And so it's these big campaign games where you guys go out as a party and try and beat the bad guys, figure out what you need to do, and it's just lots of fun.
Yeah, it is. Yeah, I mean, especially if you're a Lord of the Rings fan, it's built off of a really fantastic digital system that was based on Mansions of Madness 2nd edition. Yeah. And it just dumps you in the middle of Middle Earth, and it's kind of just stories and stuff within that world, but not the Lord of the Rings story. But you get to play as your favorite characters, and you get to go through a campaign where you can swap people out and level people up, gain XP, and sort of the app will present the story to you. And even if you do the same kind of mission a few times, things are going to be different because the map populates in real time. It's just... It's super cool.
It's a really cool
start off on a piece of the board, and you don't know what is out there.
Yeah.
Because it's just fog in the app, and then all of a sudden you're here, and the story thing happens. This element, some person walks up, like, well, do you talk nice to him, or do you talk a little smack and punch? Yeah, and I love.
It's interesting.
It feels like a journey.
Yeah.
You do not know what's going to come up.
Dare I say, it feels like a journey in Middle Earth.
Is that right? That makes sense because that's
crazy.
Crazy. Yeah, it's just super fun, especially if you're into Lord of the Rings or fantasy in general.
This is fun.
It's just fun.
It's just fun.
That's all we got, man. Go check out Journeys to Middle Earth if you can. It is super duper fun, and I hope we get more. Fingers crossed on that. That would be fantastic. So in the meantime, we'll jump into Board Game Geek's number 4. Whoa.
Your number 4, which is ranked 247, is Tainted Grail.
The fall of
Tainted Grail. Tainted Grail. This is a big old Kickstarter, giant minis, billion different minis. We haven't played it yet. My roommate backs a lot of these big Kickstarter minis games, but he does it because he just wants the minis for D&D. And he's interested in the games, but he literally buys these games, has me paint them, and then just uses them for D&D. And so this should be coming to him at any point. So we will get to play it soon. I'm very excited to play it because I've heard it's very good.
Yeah.
But we are waiting. And Steph, you haven't played this one either, right?
No, it just looks like another one of those Nemesis and Gloomhaven type campaign games. And I'm like,
big old.
There's so much, and I don't know.
It's too much. Can't get through it all.
It's definitely a type of game that appeals to certain style gamers who like those big things. I remember going through the Kickstarter campaign. I was just like, all I know is there's a lot of stuff.
Yeah.
There's a lot of stuff
and
in
it's
here.
cool. And the minis are great.
Looks neat.
Yeah.
I don't know, so I'm glad that his roommate's getting it so that we can try it, because I'm like, I don't think it'd be something I'd seek out myself. But I mean, it looks objectively cool, whatever that
looks
thing
cool.
is. So that's your number 4. It obviously made a splash with folks out there in Board Game Geek. If you have played Tainted Grail and was suggested, put in the comments below a little bit more about it.
How's it been?
Because we're all like, there's just so many things. I don't know what you do with any of them.
Yeah. Apparently, it's like half the rules as like Mage Knight. So maybe it is just easier to play. I don't know.
Huh, that's interesting.
Well, maybe there's something worth checking out. No. Again, put in the comments below if you like Tainted Grail and why. And in the meantime, we will jump into our number 4.
Our number 4 is sitting at $25.97, guys. It's called Sierra West.
It should be higher.
I'm starting to think we don't like good games because everything's just so low.
Why is everyone... Y'all need to rank your games better, people. Come on.
Yeah. I agree.
Sierra
This
West
should be higher. This is a fun game.
It's incredible. Now, Steph, actually, we have this weird history with this.
We almost ruined Steph's experience with Sierra.
We almost ruined
Steph's definitely delayed her experience with it.
So we were all at Dice Tower Con, and we saw the board and dice booth who makes this game, Sierra West, and this is my personal favorite for the entire year. I love this game. And I saw this game at Origins, and I saw it on the table and went, that's my favorite game of the year. And I was right.
With no other information.
No other information. I could feel it in my heart. And so we really wanted to play it. I didn't get a chance to play it at Origins, but I told Mike about it. So we're at Dice Tower Con. They had demos, and we were like, yeah, great. This is awesome. We're going to play it. So we sat down to play it. And we're like, do we have time to demo this? And the gentleman who was helping us was like, yeah, of course. And then we got 15 minutes into the game, maybe. And then Steph walks up with all her friends and goes, we were supposed to play this at noon. We had an appointment. We were like,
the point is, it's Rayner's fault. He just said sit down and play. We didn't know there was schedules.
So we had no idea there was a schedule for it.
I agree that Rayner should have remembered his one appointment that he had.
What the heck?
So then Steph had to sit there and wait for us to finish.
It was 3 hours, guys.
That game did not go quickly. Which is weird because that game is not long.
It's not long, and that was the longest game we played of it.
Yeah.
Man, so sorry, Steph.
The 3 of us have this weird history of this game, but nonetheless, we love this game. Steph, you like it as well.
I do very much, yeah.
Yeah, it's incredible. It's the greatest game of the year.
I did get to play after you finished.
That's right.
The anticipation just made it more exciting.
Really, really good. Kind of like a bit of programming, a teeny bit of worker placement, cool deck building and adding to your deck, and there's kind of a big mountain you're going up to get new cards.
It's 4 different modes. You can kind of themings on it and stuff.
It's got one of the best box covers in the game.
It's a beautiful box cover.
It's a beautiful box cover.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think it's rewarding that there are the 4 different modes that you can play.
Yes, there's 4 different modules in the game. Yeah.
I think it keeps you coming back. It keeps the base part of the game is the same. You know how it all works, but the what you're doing within the games changes. I think it's a smart thing that you could probably kind of expand upon, because we have that. It's going to be easy to implement because we know how to play Sierra West in general. But what's this thing add? Oh, cool.
Now there's bandits. Now we're mining for gold. Now we're fishing, and there's dueling banjos.
Because reasons.
Why not?
Frontier stuff.
Frontier stuff.
Yeah, Sierra West is fun. I'm excited to see more of it. And sorry, Steph, that we delayed your play, but I hope it didn't ruin everything.
Right.
Oh gosh, I liked it.
Yeah. Who cares, right?
Thank God, because she could have been like, I'm over it. I don't even want to play. No, Rainer, no. It's done for me. 2019's over. You ruined it, you brothers Murph. I'm never doing top 10 series with you ever. I said, well, we've got news for you for later.
Well.
Anyway, that is our number 4. Let's go ahead and jump into Board Game Geek's number 3.
So your number 3 ranked 192 overall is Marvel Champions. This is the new Arkham Horror the card game, Lord of the Rings the card game.
Yeah.
It was fun. You're the only one of us who played it, so you talk about it for a second.
I'll take it briefly. It is like those, except for now you're living in the Marvel verse, and you get to play as a hero like She-Hulk and Tony Stark and Black Panther. And you have a deck of cards and kind of a faction, sort of similar like you would in Lord of the Rings, the card game of spirit and tacticalness or whatever they are. And you create this deck, sort of craft this deck, and then you're playing it out and you're trying to fight one of the baddies. You might be trying to fight Rhino, for example, is who I fought as. And the cool thing is it it introduces this idea of the alter ego side of superheroes.
Yeah.
Superheroes all famously have an alter ego that they walk around their daily life as. And in this game, you are going to be switching back and forth between your hero side and your alter ego side. Now, when you're your alter ego side, you can't fight the bad guy, but the bad guy also doesn't know who you are. So they're not going to attack you. Instead, they're going to scheme and work on their evil plans, and you might have a chance to recover some health and things like that, and then suit up and go back into superhero mode where you can attack and thwart their schemes and stuff, but now you're a target and they're going to be attacking you directly. Because they said, it's you, Spider-Man, I'm going to get you.
So, is it a cooperative game or somebody playing the bad guy? Or
cooperative game, cooperative game, much like, again, Lord of the Rings living card game and things like that, which I really appreciate and it's hard. The villains can be quite tough. And you have to flip over kind of encounters with them and stuff each round, and you're kind of banding together. And it does feel cooperative because if everyone goes into their alter ego mode on the same round, the bad guy is going to do a lot of scheming, and you could lose in one round. And so there's this whole balance point. And you really have to talk to your teammates. Okay, like you stay out, can you take some hits? Okay, you stay out in your superhero form. I need to heal up. So it feels very cooperative. Yeah, it's a cool game that, again, they could expand forever because there are just a couple different Marvel characters out there. So I'm curious to see how they expand it. But it's a cool game. I liked it a lot. You feel like a superhero. You feel like you're tough and
that's all you can ask for, right?
Strong, whereas in like Lord of the Rings, you feel like you're just trying to survive.
Yeah, which I don't mind, but that's what it is.
I don't mind, but it's nice to feel like a superhero if you're playing as a superhero.
Yeah, totally.
So I quite like it. Personally, Marvel Champions, I thought that was cool.
So Marvel Champions, that is your number 3. Let's go ahead and get into our number 3.
Yeah.
Our number 3, coming in at 389, is something we might have foreseen coming, is Aeon's End Legacy.
Yeah,
What?
Oh my stars.
Oh, what?
What is this?
This game has appeared in quite a few of our lists.
It's popped up a bunch.
Yes,
you guys just need to play it more.
I know. We're finishing out the Scythe campaign, and then Aeon's Legacy
I'm
is next.
so excited just based on the little bit of Aeon's End we've played. It's crazy how big of a splash this game has made, how quickly. It's not that old of a game overall.
Well, there were 3 major games in the Aeon's End universe that came out last year.
It's a ton.
It's awesome. And all of that content, it just is, everything is just so great.
They've supported it, which is all you can ask.
Well, and they clearly had something strong if they knew they could make 3 different games out of it. And it also goes to show why you've had such a great experience with the Legacy, because it has a really strong foundation.
Yeah.
So it's just a cooperative deck builder. Steph loves it. Give us like a 20-second pitch. Why should I play it right now? Don't wait, but play it today.
If you love deck builders, has really awesome art, really cool turn order mechanic, big bad guys that you can't win, defeat because it's impossible.
That's hard.
Tons of expansions.
Tons of expansions. 5 reasons. Bam.
Boom.
That does sound good. Yeah.
Stamp it. 3 amigos.
3 amigos have approved this message. So that is our number 3. Aeon's End, Legacy specifically. Let's go ahead and jump into BoardGameGeek's number 2.
Your number 2, we've already talked about before. It is ranked 138 overall, and that is Lord of the Rings Journeys in Middle-earth. We're not the only Lord of the Rings fans. Yes! It's a small indie book. No one's ever read it except for us. No, it's great. We already talked about it. We've talked about it before on other lists, and we love Journeys in Middle-earth. We just do.
Yeah.
And so do you.
Yeah. You know, it kind of makes sense. Tainted Grail, big game, minis and stuff, and fantastical. Like, what's bigger and more fantastical than Lord of the Rings?
Yeah.
You know, and again, that whole not knowing what's coming next is so interesting.
It's incredibly intriguing. It's fun. If you like Lord of the Rings, if you like this kind of adaptive and campaign games, give it a shot. It's great.
Yeah.
All right, so that's your number 2. No need to say anything more. Let's get into our number 2.
Yeah.
Number 2, coming in at 279, is Paladins of the West Kingdom. Now, guys, we kind of talked about this a little bit before, too, but it's clearly made a huge mark on you. So.
It has. It's
my favorite game of 2019, personally. Sierra West was Nick's. We have talked about it, Steph. We gotta get you on it, man.
Yeah,
I gotta play it.
It's great.
Give me 5 minutes.
Yeah. It only takes 5 minutes.
It's very quick. No, it's great. Again, it's kind of the sequel to Architects of the West Kingdom. It is the heaviest of all these games, like Raiders of the North Sea.
Yeah.
Architects of the West Kingdom. Yeah. It's the heaviest, but it's really, really great. It's really, really great. It's got a good solo mode too, which if you are a solo gamer, it's got a good solo mode.
It does have a good solo mode. Yeah, it's just a game that it's fun because you should focus on just a couple things. There's some decent replayability there of, okay, now I'm gonna focus on kind of these two things. How do those combo together? Now next game I'll try these couple things. How do those go together? And kind of mix and match. So I feel like you can really kind of play it for quite a while, just with what's in the base box.
Yeah, totally. It's great. Give it a shot.
Oh, it's so good. I'm trying to.
He loves it.
I love it so much, and I want to go on the record. I am awful at it. I am so bad at the game. I don't even care. I'm just like, this is so fun. How do the combos work?
Sometimes being bad at it just makes you love it more because you want to do that much better.
I want to crack it. I can't. I don't know if I have it in me, but I'm trying to crack it.
Try it.
It's so good. Anyway, sorry. Rant over, folks. That is our number 2. Let's go ahead and jump into the number 1s.
So the last number 2 is ranked 138. Number 1 for you is ranked 28.
This game made
28 overall, and that is Wingspan. Now, to be fair, Wingspan came out at the very beginning of the year, so it's had all year. That's the only reason it had
all year. No,
man, has this game been popular.
The thing in the early part of the year.
Yeah, it won the Kennerspiel this year. I mean, this game took off. This is another Stonemaier game. This game is about bird watching. We have always talked about if you're gonna theme your game theme it something different because people like different themes. Just because it's different, like photosynthesis, I think was popular because people were like, "Wow, this is kind of a weird, kind of interesting theme." Same with bird watching. I'm not a bird watcher, but I was like, this is a cool theme. There are birds everywhere. It's great.
Absolutely.
But it's a good little engine builder. I like it a lot. It's accessible. It's fun. It's gorgeous. I love it. I love it.
Boom. Steph, have you played Wingspan? That's a stupid question. Everyone's played Wingspan. Everyone's like, what? How do you pronounce it? Wingspan? What do you think of Wingspan? Because it was such a popular game. It still is. I mean, it just got their expansion. What do you think of Wingspan?
I like it. I think I like Tapestry more if you're comparing different Stonemaier games.
Okay, really? See, I'm the opposite.
So what I found interesting when I was looking at the BGG stats is that Wingspan had about 20,000 votes, and that's about 10,000 more than the other one, like the second highest one or something. So a lot of people have rated this game. A lot of people have played this game. So that means it really has stood out this past year, and that's really something to say. That's really cool.
Yeah, it's gotten so many plays because it is a quicker game than something like a Tapestry, and it's got an accessibility level there because there's only 4 different actions you can do, but it's about putting these cards out, playing these birds out, which then give you all these actions you get to do. So next time you get food, you get more food because you've increased that action is now better, and you get to activate all these birds along the way. Yeah. It's just fun to build up these little engines, kind of like Res Arcana is a simple engine builder. This is a simple engine builder with an interesting theme.
And you were right, Steph. I just looked at it. Wingspan has 20,000 ratings, and the next highest one, at least on this top 10, is 6,000.
Yeah, it was very low.
So that is so many more. Jeez. I mean, this game.
That game made a splash.
Yeah, it blew up. It's great though. It's really, really good. Yeah, I like it. I like it a lot.
It's good awesome. Job. Yeah. So good job, you folks over there at BoardGameGeek, ranking your games with enthusiasm after Wingspan kind of just hit and took over for a little while.
Yeah.
But we have a number 1, so let's go ahead and jump into that.
Let's do it.
Our number 1 coming in at 1894, which is basically 1900. I mean, it's all the same, but more people will play it eventually, and it will go higher. That's all. It is
accurate.
Magnificent, and I love it so much.
You really, really do. So tell us about it.
I really, really do. So it has all of the mechanics I love, including polyominoes that you place on your personal player board that, we found in many others top 10 on this list. So we both like polyominoes here. But you are a magician, and you need to put up your flyers and put on these different shows for people using your campsite. So you're trying to collect these different campsites to fulfill your posters and put on your best shows. And while you're doing that, you have to complete all these goals. So everybody has different goals they're going for, and you're drafting dice and all these awesome things that I just love. And it's beautiful.
Yeah. It does have a really cool, just evocative look to it. Like it just does. Like, whoa, like it just like I like kind of how dark it is. Yeah. It just seems really interesting. And the idea of not that magic's never been used in board games, but the idea of like you're these traveling magicians.
Well, magic's used a lot. Magicians aren't used a lot.
Correct. That's what I mean. Yeah, I'm sorry. Yeah. Like the performance magicians.
Yeah. That's a great theme.
Should be tackled more. Yeah. I mean, there's a few out there, but I just like the idea that you're this like kind of these roving magicians and setting up camp, like you said, and you have to advertise. I just think it's a fascinating idea for a theme, and it just has a wild kind of look to it. And so the Magnificent just came out.
It's Essen, right?
Yeah. So I think this is one that is not horribly ranked yet, but I think it's another instance of like a little bit of time.
It's new.
It's a 2019 game. I guess all of them could say like what time they'll rank higher, but
once it's readily available in the States, I think people will play it and enjoy it like I have.
Yeah, we were trying to find a copy of it because we really wanted to try. We couldn't really, and so we were just like, we'll just wait for it to come.
It's kind of the most buzzed about game coming out of Essen. That Geek Buzz.
For sure.
So definitely one. And I based on the look and stuff, I get how people can be like, "Whoa, what's going on over here? What's this? This kind of wild dark board and stuff."
There's so much planning involved, and if you know me, I really love planning my turns. Like 5 turns down the line. Okay, so I have this. I need to get this. Okay, how do I do that? And how do I keep my cost down and all this stuff? So.
Yeah, you end up feeling quite clever when you pull it off. Yeah, and that's a satisfying game. Yeah, you feel you reap the benefits of your work. And that's something that I think is really neat.
Yeah.
So that finishes up our personal top 10 from the Three Amigos. What do you think of our picks, folks? 2019 was a cool year. There's a lot of interesting games. As you can see, we had a pretty different list from BoardGameGeek.
Yeah, we had a couple crossovers, but not too much.
Yeah, and I think both lists are super valid. It just shows that it was a pretty strong year overall.
It was a strong year.
There was a lot to like in 2019. So what were your favorite games from the year? Whether or not they appeared on anybody's list, throw those down in the comments below. Let us know what you think about our lists. In the meantime, give this video a thumbs up if you could. It helps us out a lot. And go ahead and rank it over at BoardGameGeek.com as well. And then while you're there, go ahead and rank your games because you can shake up the rankings of all these games.
Especially these ones because they're all so new for the most part.
Oh, man. Yeah, we could do the same list next year where there's a whole other year of rankings, and I'll bet you stuff is wildly different. Because they've had time to kind of sort out in the rankings.
That will be interesting. We should do that.
I know. We should do like a quick just look back kind of thing. Yeah. Like just like
2019 look back a year from now.
Just a little 15 minutes. Be like, this is what's different. Yeah. Whoa, yeah. Because I bet it changes a ton.
I love that stuff. Just see how the data changes and stuff. So maybe that's something we'll have to get to in the future. In the meantime, we're always looking for new lists to do for you. If you have a game mechanic, a designer. An artist, a company, whatever it might be, a publisher that you really want to see tackled in a list, put that in the comments below, and we're happy to try to put together an awesome list for you. And again, see how do our tastes compare with the people out there, because it's always fascinating to me to see what we all agree on, what we very much disagree on. Totally, so that's the cool thing about board games is that all opinions are valid.
Yeah.
And so if I'm not missing anything else, we will catch you all in the next 10 versus 10. Thank you so much for joining us. I'm Mike.
I'm Nick.
I'm Steph.
And we are out of here. Bye, everybody.
Bye. Goes out.
Go, bye.